Coming live from Florence, South Carolina, USA is our guest tonight. Welcome to this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through the industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Jeff Felten, email marketing strategist and copywriter who helps service-based business owners hustle less for leads and build armies of loyal fans. Welcome to the show, Jeff.
Thanks, AJ. Thanks for having me. Good to be here.
Good to have you on the show, Jeff. And we'll be talking about how to get started with email marketing and how people can use those email marketing emails to build super fans for their brands, for their services, whatever they have got to offer. So firstly, Jeff, to understand from a layman's perspective, what is the state of email marketing as of now? Is it alive? Is it dead? It is alive and kicking, or is it barely alive? How would you put it?
Alive and kicking is a great way to put it. A lot of people tend to think that it's not, but email marketing has the highest ROI of any marketing channel out there. It differs from social media in that social media, you don't own your social media following, you own your email list though. Take example, what's happening with Twitter right now. It's a perfect example of somebody else owns the platform and somebody else owns your audience, and they can do whatever they want with it. They can charge you more for it. They can take it away if they want to. But if you have an email list, you own it forever. And like I mentioned, email marketing has the highest ROI. I think some sources say as high as 42x your ROI. So there's a lot of potential there. A lot of people want to be reached and communicated with in the email inbox.
Right, Jeff. Then why is it that instead of having such a high return on investment, why is it that email marketing is talked about but not in the same league as other marketing tools? Is it like there is some bias against it, or is it like it's some big secret which people don't want to share with anybody else?
I think there are a few reasons. The first, I think, is that I think people do have a little bit of a bias to it because, especially from a service-based business perspective, a lot of people, when they think email marketing, they think e-commerce, and they think the constant barrage of sales emails that they get and buy my product. And, a lot of people get annoyed with those kinds of things. But email marketing for service-based business owners looks a little bit different. It looks a lot more like providing value and being helpful and continuing conversations. All of those things are very human things, very things that we do in normal human relationships. And so that's really, kind of how I try to counter that objection to email marketing. The other side of that is I think people just don't really know where to start. I think that, especially from a service-based perspective, a lot of the email marketing content out on the internet now serves e-commerce brands. And so a lot of service-based business owners like coaches or consultants, freelancers, other service providers just don't really know how to do email marketing. And they also, they're busy growing their own businesses and doing client work that they don't have the time to really learn how to do it well. So I think those are really kind of the biggest roadblocks for people in getting started.
Right, Jeff. And that is why how to get started with you. You are the man for the day. You are the master for today. And we will learn from you how to get started with email marketing, especially, because you are an email marketer for service-based business owners. So, and with the great resignation, a lot of people are getting into, service, and they're using their skills to reach out to make clients, to reach out to potential clients and build a life for themselves. And India is a big country. India has got so many service providers, small businesses, consultants, and freelancers. So all those people, it will be almost like starting a new life. And if email marketing has such a great prospect, and it's already proving to be around 42 to 43% return on investment is there, I'm sure a lot of people can benefit from that. So let's start from the start itself, is that how to get started with email marketing. Where does a person who is new into business or into services get started with this email marketing stuff? How do they start?
Yeah. So, I think there's a process to really developing a full-blown strategy. But honestly, what I tell people a lot of times is just get started. Just send an email. Just be helpful. Just answer a question, ask a question, share a blog post, share a helpful tip, share something useful. Be useful to your email list. Help them solve a problem. Help them achieve something. So, really, I think people can get into the perfection paralysis mode of wanting to do it just right, when really all you need to do is just send something. Just send a very simple, very short email, get in front of people, and that's really the best place to start. Now, if we are talking about building a full strategy, uh, you know there are two components to a strategy. There's your automation, which are things like a welcome sequence, maybe an onboarding sequence, just automated emails that people receive at certain points in the customer journey. The other part of your strategy is a weekly broadcast strategy, or monthly broadcast strategy. And these are emails that you sit down and type to send out, and you basically send them out in real time. I typed one out and sent it out to my list this morning. It was about 16 different content ideas that you could send to your email list right away. So there's two different prongs, I guess, to a good email strategy: a broadcast, which is real-time emails, and an automation strategy, which are emails that are triggered based on certain points in the customer journey. To really determine how to build this strategy, I take a three-part approach. First, we understand who your ideal client is. Then we understand their journey with you. We go in depth and we talk about that. And then we actually look at your offer structure, because in order to sell with email, you have to lead people on a very logical journey, a journey that makes sense to them, on a journey that they're actually on, not something that we're guessing on. So we look at those three things to actually create an email marketing strategy: your ideal client profile, the customer journey map, and then your ideal offer structure. When you understand all three of those things, it becomes a whole lot easier to actually build a strategy. So that's really kind of the more complex approach. Again, I would suggest, if you're just starting out, if you've never sent an email to your list, just send one. Just commit to sending one this week, and provide a helpful tip. Share a blog post that's on your website. Just be of value to your email list.
Right, right, Jeff. Now, email list sounds very easy, but if I ask you what is a person's email list, mostly it will consist of friends, acquaintances, somebody who has written an email to you. You have saved that email, or it's automatically saved, so that you may need it. It may pop up when you need to write back to them. But when you are writing to customers, potential customers, when you are trying to generate leads out of whatever resources you have got, how do you build that list, or cull out from the list that you number of emails that you already have? It may not be big in number, maybe 20, 30, 40, 50, around that, but that is for when somebody is starting out. Even small businesses, they don't tend to be so organized about keeping their emails in order. Only when they need it, they start looking for the email addresses. So how does one look for building up a list and then growing it, so that then they can decide about uh, going it for a mass emailing, as well as then putting some for automation?
Yeah, so I'm a content marketer, so I believe wholeheartedly in content marketing to generate leads for your business. And the reality is, if you create good content and you make the next step of the journey obvious for people, or the first step, excuse me, the first step of the journey obvious for people, which is to sign up for the email list. It will bring prospects to your email list. So let me explain a little bit. So most people that are listening are probably familiar with a lead magnet, or the term lead magnet. And a lead magnet is precisely what the name indicates. It attracts leads. It attracts the right kind of people. So when you create a piece of content and call it a lead magnet, it must be something that your ideal prospect or a good lead is interested in, really wants to receive. If it's good enough, if it's compelling enough, if it's helpful enough, if it gives them a quick win, they will give you their email address for it. They will give you their email address, and you will send them the lead magnet for free. Okay. This gets them onto your email list. And anybody that gets onto your email list, I believe, is a potential prospect. They are a potential customer, which is a prospect. So we treat the emails that we send to them as if they're a potential customer, as a prospect. This does not mean that we sell to them in every email. It means that we, in most sales relationships, we're not selling 100% of the time. We're nurturing, we're providing value. And so once somebody gets onto your email list from a lead magnet, then we begin to nurture process, and we treat them as if we would a real prospect, and we lead them to the point of sale, basically. And for all of this, I would 100% recommend, if you don't have an email provider, an email platform, and I'm not talking about Gmail or Yahoo or AOL, or Outlook. I mean ConvertKit, HubSpot, ActiveCampaign, MailerLite, one of those things. Because if you don't have one of those things or one of those platforms, your deliverability is not going to be as good. Your email address might get marked as spam, and you can automate mass emails with these platforms. There's so much more you can do with them. They really make things helpful. So what I'm suggesting here from an email marketing perspective is not to have a contact book in Gmail or Outlook and mass sending people there. I'm actually suggesting you have an email list on a platform like ConvertKit or MailChimp or ActiveCampaign. There's dozens of them out there. So I hope that helps answer your question, AJ.
Yes, Jeff. I'm just thinking, where in this whole process of mailing to those prospects to the list, where do you actually talk about, marketing your product or making that first sale? How do you begin that? Because you're always very apprehensive about spamming. And then you also think about how those people, because if they share your email list, it means they have some sort of a relationship with you. Either it's because of a lead magnet, or maybe because they have been a customer of yours before. So that sensitivity has to be taken care of, and that is where a good and effective email copy comes in. But as an individual, how do you figure that out? How to take care of sensitivities, as well as the practical part is to that you need to make a sale or to generate enough leads for yourself.
For sure. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And yes, you can use marketing emails to sell, and you should use marketing emails to sell. However, I would say that not necessarily in the traditional sense anymore, right? I mean, people are bombarded with thousands of ads every single day. And so, I believe, and I, kind of operate under the assumption that the more I advertise, the more I sell, the more I'm going to tune people out. So I focus instead on building relationships and nurturing those relationships, and then weaving in my offers whenever they're relevant, which sometimes mean making the conversation about the topic that makes my offer relevant, if that makes sense. So, I'll open up a discussion or share some content that will lead to making my offer extremely relevant. Here's an example. So let's just pretend that I have a consulting business and I work with middle-aged women to help them reach their long lost goals and dreams, right? Like they're middle-aged moms, they've been living at home, pushed their dreams aside for decades and decades. And now they really want to start going after their own dreams. And that's my business model. That's what I do. One of the things that I would talk about a lot is to help these women for free in my emails, in my lead magnet, to rediscover what their dreams and goals are, to help them reimagine what those dreams are. And then my offer of coaching them to go after those dreams makes perfect sense. It's a no-brainer. And so then in my emails, as I'm helping them rediscover their long lost goals and dreams, I can position my offer as a no-brainer, logical next step for them. And so that's how I would use email to sell, is to position my business and my products and my services as a very logical step, not just sending an email, hey, buy my stuff because it's good and it's going to help you. That's just not going to work, right? People are too smart for that these days. So you have to get really logical with it. You have to anticipate the journey that they're on. You have to do more than just selling. You have to weave the selling offers in very naturally into the conversation and make them relevant to where this person is at. And typically, if you understand your ideal buyers enough, this is why, this is a foundational part of my work. If you understand your buyers enough, you'll know where they're at in the journey, and you'll have an entire list of people who are in relatively similar places. That's the goal. And that way your message is finely tuned for these specific people. It's the right message for the right people at the right time.
Okay. Okay. And email marketing is not too intrusive. It all depends on the other person when they want to open up that email. If they don't want to open up, they don't. If they want to open up, they can always do that. It's always better than other forms of marketing.
For sure. And if somebody, this is why lead magnets are also powerful again, because if somebody opted in to give you their email address, then they're okay with receiving emails from you. More than likely, if they wouldn't have given you their email address at this point in content marketing, people know that when they sign up for, a free PDF or a guide or a checklist, that they're going to get some emails from you, and that's okay. So I always try to operate with honesty and transparency. So in the first email that people get from me, I, say right out of the gate, here's what you can expect. I will email you a couple of times a week. It'll be helpful content mixed in with a few relevant offers. If you don't want to get these emails, feel free to unsubscribe at any time. No hard feelings. Because I unsubscribe from people's lists. And it doesn't mean that I don't like them. It just means I don't want to receive their emails. And I'm not a good fit for them anyway. So honesty, genuineness. We're not trying to, spam people. We only want to send emails to people that we have consent to send their email to.
Right. Is there can we build up a funnel in the email list, or is it a different thing and to be talked about at at another place or another time, or is email marketing the right place for it?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So, if we think about the structure of a funnel, the top of your funnel would be brand awareness kinds of things, like a podcast, like social media. Those are brand awareness kinds of things. We're not really going to sell people there, but those top of funnel places are where people recognize your thought leadership, where they see, AJ, and they say, wow, this guy has some really great thoughts on XYZ. I think I'd like to get more information from him. So they download your lead magnet or sign up for your email list. They're curious, right? So they get on your email list and they move directly into your welcome sequence, which to me is at the very beginning of our email relationship. They hear you on social media or podcast. They opt into your email list. They go on they go onto your email list and they receive a welcome sequence where we do an initial nurturing and bit of selling to move people towards our products or services, if nothing else, to make them aware of our products and services, and how we can help them reach their goals or solve their problems. So yes, that is one way to build a funnel with email marketing, that welcome sequence and lead magnet. It's a very, very common way, and it's still very, very effective. There are a lot of other funnels that you can create too. You can create launch funnels when you get ready to launch a new product or business or service. So that, there are a lot of different ways that you can leverage email for funnels.
Okay, okay. You talk about welcome sequence. What exactly is that, Jeff? And how can one start and welcome his potential clients the best way possible? How does that work?
Yeah. So if we think about, we go back to the idea of a lead magnet, right? When somebody downloads your lead magnet and opts into your email list, we have to remember that probably 15 minutes prior, they didn't know you existed, right?
Okay,
And so in the same way as a normal human relationship, if I just meet you for the first time, you're not going to really sell me right off the bat. You're not going to try to convince me that you're the best, or that your product or service is going to solve all my problems right off the bat, right? There's a normal period of introduction and kind of getting to know each other, and there's a lot of trust that has to be built before somebody who hasn't heard of you before is willing to open up their wallet and spend money with you. So a welcome sequence is that first impression when somebody downloads your lead magnet and starts receiving emails from you. It's that first impression. So making a good, solid first impression. It's driving engagement with new subscribers, getting them to interact with you. Again, just like a normal human relationship, the welcome sequence focuses a lot on building trust, and then nurturing people into a sale. Maybe even a few sales tactics like overcoming objections. But ultimately, a welcome sequence is a series of maybe 5 to 10 emails that somebody receives automatically when they download your lead magnet or enter into your email list. So again, if somebody downloads your lead magnet, they opt in, immediately your email provider, ConvertKit, MailChimp, whatever, will automatically trigger that these 5 to 10 emails will be sent out over the next, 5 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is. And again, those 5 to 10 emails are that process of introduction, building trust, selling, all those kinds of things. Does that make sense?
yes, yes, perfectly. I think it has given a good idea about how one can get started, how they can build a funnel, how they can, get to this welcome sequence, and where they can automate it, what are the tools that they can use. So that makes gives a lot of insight and information about this. Now suppose if you have built up a good email marketing list, and you have built up a good association with your list or all those people, and you have built up a good uh, ongoing relationship. The other part is that how do you turn them into super fans of your brand? How do they do that? How do you transition to that?
So what is a super fan, right? A super fan is, let me back up actually. You have super fans and then you have passive followers, right? Passive followers consume your content. They don't really buy your stuff. They just kind of scroll. They're not really engaged. Super fans, on the other hand, super fans buy your stuff. They can't wait for the next stuff to come up. They tell everybody about you and your services. They are your number one advocates. They are your fans. They're bought into your brand. That's what we really want to build. We want to build a tribe of people who are loyal followers, who will follow you till the ends of the earth, who trust you as a thought leader on XYZ, whatever it is that you do, and who tell everyone about you, right? That's what we want to accomplish, more than just having a list. We want to turn those people on your email list from passive followers into people who are highly engaged with your brand. We do that by building trust, by prompting engagement. So a lot of my email marketing strategy is actually asking for replies. I send short emails to people, ask them a question, and ask them to reply to me. And you know what? People reply. A reply is a good indicator. Again, just like a human relationship, a reply is a really good indicator that somebody is very interested. Somebody is bought into your brand. So again, a lot of generating super fans is being helpful, earning people's trust, and engaging with them, starting conversations. That's how you create a following of super fans.
Right, right, Jeff. And those people who want to engage with you, want to get your services through. It's a global world. Everything can be done online, and there is so much power of automation. So, how do they get in touch with you? What can they expect from you? And what is the best way to connect with you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter. I tweet a lot. It's really helpful. If you don't have Twitter, you're gonna want to join Twitter just to follow me, because I tweet a lot of helpful content about email marketing. You can find me at www.contentremedy.co. I've got a lot of helpful resources on there, some freebies, a masterclass on writing your own welcome sequence. You could get in touch with me via email at jeff@contentremedy.co. But yeah, any way you'd like to connect, I'm happy to connect, and we can talk about email.
Right, Jeff. Right. So now my last question to you, Jeff, is to understand this landscape. People who think that email marketing is dead or almost dead or barely alive, and in the present atmosphere, the way people are looking at social media, especially happenings at Twitter changes, so nobody knows what way this all thing is going to pan out. Even on Instagram and Facebook, people have their own views, but there is a general sense that these are not changes can happen in these places, and you will have to be prepared for that, because you are only there as a visitor. There is nothing permanent. You can't take out anything with you, like an email list that you have developed. So how do you what do you want to tell the people who even till now believe that email marketing may not be the best tool, vis-a-vis people who are putting so much of thrust on social media still, irrespective of whatever the trust fact deficit or the happenings at the moment. So it's very difficult to figure. How do you look at it going forward?
I think it's going to be even more relevant. Look, social media is rented real estate. If you have a Twitter following, Elon Musk owns your Twitter following. And I don't have a problem with Elon. I love Twitter, but I also operate with the understanding that somebody else owns that following. My goal is to get them on an email list where I will own that list forever, right? And I can communicate with them forever. I can, and the reason I say you own it forever is because if you ever build a list and decide to leave the email platform, you can download your email list onto a spreadsheet and have it take it with you forever, right? But social media is rented real estate, and I think I saw another statistic that maybe it was 96 or 98% of people prefer to be communicated with via the inbox. So it's you're meeting people with where they want to be met when it comes to selling. How often do you scroll through social media and see people selling stuff that you get ads and you just scroll right on by, or you just don't want to see it? You roll your eyes because, oh, another ad. Good grief. How many of these am I going to get? Email is the place where people like to communicate. It's where they're going anyway. Quite often people are going to social media to mindlessly scroll or to be entertained. But the inbox is where people really like to communicate with other people, to build relationships and to talk about business or to really be sold to. So yes, 100%. I believe that email marketing is going to be even more relevant in the coming years as the social media landscape continues to change. So if you're banking on that following on rented real estate, I would offer some concern to you that things could always change there. So start building your email list soon.
Great, great. On this note, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much, Jeff, for joining us on this show.
AJ, thank you so much for having me.